All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. It is Monday, August 12th, 2024, and we are doing our weekly recap, August 5th through August 11th of course, 2024. So, everybody joining in, don't forget to join us over on Reddit for all the hot and sexy WWE discussion. We welcome you and look forward to seeing you engage with us. And thanks to the awesome folks at Ascendant for our theme music, Doomsday Machine. Check them out. They have a pretty cool album. I've listened to their stuff. They're good to go. So we're going to recap an exciting week. It is a regular week, no pay-per-views to discuss. So welcome back. Mike is here with me now, and Jason will be here with us shortly. So, interesting week. A lot of highs and lows, but all in all, pretty good. I mean, nothing that I would have skipped. I watched everything live this week, and glad I did.
Yeah, we probably had one of if not the best Raw of the year, because the Raw where they went to Brooklyn and The Rock and Seth Rollins were there, that was a great Raw. And then when we had the Wyatt Six debut, that was another great Raw. But this is definitely top 3 Raw of the year that we had. SmackDown, it was good-ish. It wasn't the best we could have had. And one thing that really struck my eyes when DIY was coming out through Gorilla, that there was Triple H was nowhere to be found, and the only person you saw sitting at Gorilla was Bruce Pritchard.
So yeah, as we suspected.
It's a big reason why I think Friday nights have been lackluster, to say the least.
Yeah, I think it was last week that we mentioned that. Yeah, that we pegged Bruce Pritchard for being the driving force. So yeah, I think that officially confirms that one. So we can put that one to rest. A lot of exciting stuff to talk about this week. Wyatt Six debuted. Giovanni Vinci got the Pitbull treatment and will be back soon.
That was a phenomenal video package on him. I'm very excited to see this new persona that they're going to give him.
All I could see when that happened all over Twitter was people and people on Reddit as well, were like, why does he look like Pitbull?
I sort of got the vibes too I don't know if you remember back when Alberto Del Rio was going to debut, that they would do those video packages of him showing him the rich houses in Mexico, that stuff. I just think they sort of did like an Italian vibe with Vinci towards that. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see the new persona that they're going to give him.
It's going to be interesting. I hope it isn't screwed up. There's enough multinational personalities in the company right now that I think an international perspective is cool. I like the League of Nations faction. I like when they play up, instead of just people from other countries being like villains, which it looks like he's going to be a heel, but beside the point, people from other countries usually played as like villains, but I like when you put them together and they make a pretty cool faction, like Imperium. I love League of Nations was super cool. I mean, it got Rusev over. Like, I'm interested to see if the singles run pans out. My suspicion is it probably won't, because history tells us that usually repackaging does not go well, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, you never know. LA Knight, way better than Max Dupree. Bray Wyatt, much better than Husky Harris. There's some hope there, but I just think for the heel, he's going to be more like that smug, rich guy that everyone hates. Not like how they have Gunther. Like, not that I'm comparing him to Vladimir Kozlov, but like a 10 times better version of Vladimir Kozlov, where he's the European supervillain. You're not going to see that out of Vinci, I don't think.
Cody is better than Stardust.
Yes. Well, he started off as Cody Rhodes, so I don't really go to that one, seeing they went back to the original one, but that was bad.
Oh, God. That was definitely, I'm pretty sure that's got to be a Vince gimmick. Like,
yeah.
That one just, the way it comes across is just like, I don't think so. I don't like it.
Even I like Dustin Rhodes a lot better as just Dustin Rhodes than Goldust, personally, myself too. I just don't think anything along those lines is really entertaining.
No, I mean, during the Attitude Era, like, a lot of people, people that are getting into wrestling now, like, they don't really, I guess they can't understand kind of the culture of that time. It was not as progressive as it is now, where society is, it's not perfect, but society is relatively friendly of people who are different. But during the Attitude Era, like, he was an out there cross-dresser, like eccentric, and it shook people up because they were uncomfortable with that. like society in general was uncomfortable with that kind of stuff. Now, if you did it, people would just be like, ah, cool, I like this guy. He's like stepped off a Pride stage. Like, awesome, this Gold Dust guy is pretty cool. So it'd be interesting to roll a character out like that now. It was something I wanted to talk about when we get to SmackDown. Is I'm really loving Pretty Deadly lately. So
yeah, it's funny you say that. I was watching Dark Side of the Ring last night, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he sort of did the gay gimmick to get over as a heel back then. What's funny you talk? I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Oh, like way back in the day. I remember that episode. Who was that?
He died in a car accident up in Newfoundland, I believe it was.
It wasn't Gorgeous George, was it?
Nah, that was Gorgeous Gino. I think it was the episode you're talking about. I can't remember his name. I just watched it last night too.
Oh, who was it? Adrian Adonis?
Yes, that's who it was. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to find who it was. I was like, yep, that's who it was. Yeah. Let's see. He was heterosexual, but played the gimmick. So that's pretty interesting. Apparently, he had a wife and kids, unless he was like closeted, which happened a lot back then. So I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah. And then the car crash. It was Mike Kelly, Pat Kelly, and Dave McKinnigan, the Bear Man. They swerved to avoid hitting a bear or a moose and crashed. That's such a Canadian thing. Yeah. Crashed into a rock. The van ended up in the water. Pat and Dave killed instantly. Adonis injured and died shortly thereafter. Mike Kelly, the only survivor, disputes reports that drugs or alcohol were involved.
Yeah, and they destroyed a pool room at their hotel after that when they were drugs. So I don't know what's going on there. There was something.
It's one of those things. It's like there may or may not have been drinking, but we don't want to get a ticket, so we're gonna skip out on that one. So yeah. So I guess we'll start off the week with Raw from August 5th. Quite a lot of matches. There's a lot I want to talk about here. Sheamus defeating Ludwig Kaiser, Lyra Valkyria defeating Shayna Baszler, disqualification. The New Day defeating AOP, A-Town Down Under defeating The Awesome Truth. Damian Priest defeats JD McDonough. Of course, there was a Finn Balor interruption there. Io Sky defeating Sonya Deville and the Wyatt Six in their debut match, defeating, as they're called now, American Made. So I guess I want to start some of the stuff that wasn't on the show. What did you think about Randy Orton showing up on Raw? Is that kind of telling us that the draft is kind of getting to its done stage?
I think we're just going to see him over there until Bash, and then he'll go back over to SmackDown. This will probably play the bridge into his feud with Cody Rhodes, because it's funny, I think it was like a week or two ago, we said so much for that Gunther-Randy Orton rematch after the King and Queen of the Ring thing, and now we see it. But
they mentioned it.
Yeah, it's a good time to do it, to get it for a big match for Gunther over in not his home country, as they called it, because he's from Austria. I don't know why they're calling it his home country, but I think we'll see. Maybe he could even interfere in the KO Cody match, because I don't know if they're going to want to go straight to Randy versus Cody, because they could have him turn on KO and cost him that. But he has not won on a PLE this year either, so he could just lose to Gunther and say, hey, I'm done with this, and he's going to turn on Cody too. So I'm very curious to see which direction they go coming out of this.
And it'll be a good match too. I mean, Randy Orton's incredible in the ring. Gunther is incredible in the ring. Like, I'm very interested to see how a full one-on-one pay-per-view headlining match between the two of them. That's one I could watch go, 30 plus minutes, because it won't be boring.
Yeah, and I'm wondering now too, is if they planned this all along, and if that when Orton had his shoulders up, if that was just a work, or if it was an accident that they just were lucky to have fall in their lap to make this match happen. Long-term storytelling. Yeah.
I know. What did you think about Priest as a face? I mean, he got some reaction. Like, I was surprised. Ray has always been over, but Priest getting cheered was interesting.
It's just this administration showing that they are so much better at building up baby faces than the previous administration. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of people were disappointed that Priest dropped that title, but you shouldn't be disappointed at all. Priest dropping that title just boosted him up so much in popularity and his wrestling stock overall. He's obviously not the biggest baby face in the company right now, because that's Roman Reigns, and then Cody Rhodes is second. But he's going to be right up there in that top 5 after this. They did a phenomenal job building him up.
Another one that was surprised to get a massive pop was Bronson Reed. That was out of nowhere. I was so surprised when he was getting cheered. Like, that was wild.
Yeah, I hope Seth's okay, because those tsunamis look brutal. Never mind taking 6 of them, I believe it was. That's some real dedication to the art.
And you kind of take it with a grain of salt. The dude was spitting up blood. Like, I mean, it could have been fake, but if it was real, he's going to be out for a minute. Like, that looked rough.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that they went this route with Bronson Reed, too, because the only thing he's really won a notability is the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, because I thought they might put the Speed title on him at some point. He was in the IC title picture for a little bit, but I guess they, because I knew the company was high on him, but I didn't think they were going to push him this big, this quick.
Yes, that was definitely quite surprising. I mean, another one, and speaking of big guys, a frequent mention on this show that we've talked about quite a lot for many a moons now.
For real.
Odyssey Jones is real, and he showed up.
I can't believe it. I would have bet every penny to my name that we would have not seen him on that Raw.
No, not a snowball's chance in hell that was going to happen. I was so surprised. But, I mean, you saw the look. I mean, Xavier was given some weird looks about it, wasn't comfortable, seemed unhappy. I mean, this could be the New Day split. I mean, they wouldn't have put that on TV if they weren't doing it for a reason.
Yep, and he came out with some heat too to do that double side slam to the AOP. Those are some big dudes to do that too. But the only thing that makes me feel a little bit weird about this, we've seen it with A-Town Down Under, we've seen it with DIY. They tease the splits and then they just end up not happening. So whether we actually see it or not is a real question that I have.
I think it's kind of leaning back on greatest hits, because splitting up tag teams was always Vince's thing. Like, he loves splitting up tag teams. So maybe it's just kind of a tease to the old days, but something they're not actually going to do. I don't know. I hope not. Splitting up the New Day is kind of dumb. Adding Odyssey Jones is, it does seem like they're just trying to pigeonhole generic black guy into Big E's slot. I don't know. I hope that's not it, but I don't know. We'll see what their intentions are with it.
Another thing is they want to make that tag team division stronger, because it looks like now we pretty much know that they're going to sign the Motor City Machine Guns, and it looks like they're going to get the Lucha Bros too. So maybe they don't feel they need the New Day with those guys, because those are 2 big name tag teams coming in.
I cannot wait to see Lucha Bros. I hope they don't just, again, pigeonhole them into LWO or Legado del Fantasma and just have them feuding with other Mexican wrestlers. Like, I hope they don't do that. That's my biggest hope. Like, let them be their own thing. They're good on their own. They don't need any of those gimmicks. Like, let them just be who they are. Like, they're naturally good. They can get over organically.
Yeah. I can't wait. I just hope both of them happens, because the rumors have been out there, especially with the Motor City Machine Guns. We're going on about a month now since it was rumored, and we still haven't seen any sign of them signing. So I just cross my fingers that it happens and sit back and watch some phenomenal tag team wrestling, hopefully.
On the subject of tag teams, I like that backstage segment with Sammy and Jay kind of teasing a tag team run for them. Like, I'm okay with it.
So I was thinking about this. I understand that they're going to expand the tag team division with these possible signings, but the splitting the belts apart has not gone the way they thought it would, I'm sure, so far. So do you think that Sammy and Jay could win those Raw belts, bring them over, and when they go over to SmackDown, they could face at Bad Blood, for example, say the Bloodline, and then you unify the titles again that way?
I know it feels like they just did it. And in theory, both brands should have their own tag titles, because they're both on different networks that paid good money for WWE content. But there's not enough tag teams to have two sets of titles. And there's not enough focus on the division right now. So, ordinarily I would say it's good to have them broken up so we get more tag team wrestling. But also, realistically, there's not enough tag teams.
Yeah, The other thing that I noticed too, I don't know if you noticed this on Friday night, that DIY's nameplates were
Oh, their
still on
plates were
those.
still, yeah.
Yeah, and
It
that
show
usually means they're gonna get the championships back.
and it shows how much of their how little focus there is on tag teams. I think when I saw that, I was just like, that's lazy. Like no one cared. Like no one noticed that. It was
Yeah,
pretty glaring. It was on TV. It was pretty glaring. But I
yeah.
mean, when we get to SmackDown, yeah, I mean the tag team tournament, I mean, it could go that way. So, it could be something that they're doing. I don't know, but another thing that I thought was interesting. What do you think about Gable's stable's new name, American Made? And do you remember what else that's from?
I saw it. I saw it on the. I saw it on the. I believe it was in the sub. If not, it might be another one because I think it's a little too old for me to remember based on my age. But I'm not the biggest. I'm okay with the name. I could care less about that. But the entrance music sucks. They need some new entrance music.
Yeah, American Made was some old Hulk Hogan music from back in
Yeah.
the day. So I don't know if that was something that was meant to be on the nose. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the name, but the match was really good. Dexter Loomis, that creepy crawling thing he was doing, like
Mm.
I think the match was so good that it didn't make Gable and them look weak, which is what you needed because you didn't want either side to look weak. And I think that they accomplished that pretty well.
Yeah, and then I believe we have Gable or American Made now going up against the Alpha Academy tonight. So I believe that we can finally get him back on the right track of winning because
Yeah.
ever since he's fallen out of that IC title picture, he hasn't been able to get a win. But obviously, they're not going to have anyone beat the Wyatt Six right now. But I want to see Gable get back into that IC title contention now with surrounding himself with Creed brothers.
Well, I know tonight they're having a 2 out of 3 falls match, Sami Zayn and Braun
Yep.
Breaker. So hopefully this will be what ends it for Sami, and then Braun can move on and Chad be one of the first challengers. I think I think that'd be a good way to go with the storyline.
Yep, seeing the going to Bash below, I know I said last week I thought Ilya Dragunov might get the match, but the other thing we got to remember too is now that Kaiser's back, because I didn't know Kaiser was coming back, he could also get that IC title match at Bash in Berlin. So I feel like tonight they're just making up for the 6-minute match at SummerSlam to give the fans what they deserve, best 2 out of 3 falls match so these guys can showcase their talents, and then we'll bury that rematch clause so we can move on in Braun Breaker's title reign to the next challenger.
What did you think about? I saw differing opinions about this online. The Wyatt Six obviously used Shatter, which, as many know, was Bray Wyatt's theme at the end of his run before he passed. A lot of people thought it was cool. They thought it was a good homage to him. Some people didn't know what it was and said it sounded weird. Some people weren't big fans of it and said they didn't really like it being used with this new team. I'm fine with it. I always like the song. I think it fits, but everyone has differing opinions.
I think we can cut out the build up because that's the weird part, how it goes over. I think we can just go from the piano key to the song. We don't need that weird build up in the middle. That's just my personal opinion on it. But anything to keep Def Rebel from making some new entrance music, I'm all for. I'm not gonna complain about.
God, I know. Ugh. It was definitely interesting. I liked it though. I didn't have any problems with it. I like Ivy Nile back there with Gable and the Creed brothers. That was another thing I forgot about. The Judgment Day. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the Judgment Day. JD McDonough had an incredible promo. I like that they're not making Big Head out to be a joke anymore. JD McDonough out to be a joke anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he's going to become Finn Balor will be the head of the stable, and JD will unfortunately have to take some losses for people to get to him, like obviously starting with Priest. But he's got gold around his waist, and I'm sure with Balor getting the heel heat that he does, if they want to leave those tag team titles on him and not give them to Sami Zayn, which I don't expect them to do, I think they will end up giving them to him. He'll be getting plenty of wins with Balor, so I'm curious to see which way they do with that, seeing they ended up putting the tag team titles on them a few weeks ago.
It's going to be an interesting thing where they to see where they go with it. I'm definitely curious about the direction. And another thing people have been talking about online is that there's rumors that they're going to change the stable name.
Really?
Yeah,
So I'm surprised they came out with the Judgment Day out of the gate if they're gonna change the stable name, because they should have just done that, I think, first day, and then maybe, because what are they calling Priest and Rhea now? The Terror Twins, I believe it is, or something like that.
As we said last week, though, I mean, it's definitely something that we expect is going to lead to a mixed tag match. I mean, like, I'm 99% sure. I mean, Liv came out and was beating up on him, and I mean, this has to be where it's going to go. I mean, it's pretty clear foreshadowing.
I've seen some people say this too, and I'm not opposed to this, but I don't know if WWE will do it. Could we have a Rhea versus Dom match, maybe, depending on, like, if you put on Peacock, obviously not on TV, but she's body slammed a ton of guys before, and she can hold her own. Like, if you go back and watch the Penta versus Chelsea Green match, you can do some good stuff with that, just as long as you stick to the right spots and don't make it look too violent.
Yeah, I mean, I have no issue with it. I mean, from an entertainment perspective, I'd be fine with it, because we all know in the end that Rhea would win. So, I mean, the outcome would be fine. I think logistically, I think there might be too much backlash if they did it. The company might get some eyes that they don't want. People saying, "Oh, they're encouraging men beating women and all that." And, like, I mean, entertainment wise, I think it'd be dynamite, but PR wise, maybe not. I don't know. Someone might get rubbed the wrong way.
Yeah, because when we had that Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton match, if you ask me, that fell flat on its face. If they're going to go with it, they need to go with it the whole way. We can't do something weird like that just to have the match happen where nothing happens and then the Fiend appears to get the win.
My take is, if they do that match, you know, who knows if they will or not. My expectation would be just that it would be a squash, that Rhea would just squash him before he could get a hit in.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that at all. You have him do like a Three Amigos and Frog Splash. That's maybe the extent of Dom's offense, and just have him get hit with, like, say, 3 Riptides at the end to make sure he's done.
Oh man, that would be glorious. Because my expectation would be that Liv shows up, you know, the ref's knocked out for something, she takes care of Liv, and then she finishes off Dom, and everybody wins. Profit.
Yeah, no, it's a good story. I'm very curious to see how this one plays out for sure.
I am kind of nervous about Liv being in the Judgment Day, because it just doesn't seem like her scene. Like, seeing her show up in that promo with all the Judgment Day members, I was just kind of like, it's kind of like when Alexa was with Bray Wyatt. You know, that feeling you got at the beginning was just kind of like, this isn't her scene.
What I'm curious too is remember back when he came back in 2022, I believe it was, Bray Wyatt, that she was rumored to be in the Wyatt Six's original plan there, and she was going sort of like an unhinged weird thing when she had that title run. I believe it was Ronda Rousey. They had Extreme Rules match. She started to get really unhinged. So I'm just curious if they moved from her being in that, saying, "Oh, you can do this in the Judgment Day," seeing they're not supernatural, but a dark gothic faction.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people saying that, you know, obviously she's going to come back at some point because she just had a baby, but, like, how do you bring Alexa Bliss into the Wyatt Six, or do you have her do something else? What do you think, Jason?
Hello, Jason.
I don't know how she'd feed into the Wyatt Six right now with how they're going. I don't know. I don't know how she'd come back as part of any group, only because, like, what she's been posting on Instagram with, like, her hair being pink again and all that stuff. So I think she's going to come back as the goddess and do that whole gimmick again.
I believe today's the 3-year anniversary of the Lily doll coming out too. From what I've seen on the line. Yeah,
Jason, what were your highlights from Raw?
From Raw?
Yeah,
I don't know. The whole Judgment Day thing, I'm still enjoying.
Yeah.
That was amazing. The breakdown with Damian and Rhea. What are they calling them now? The Terror Twins?
That's what Mike just said. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I don't know, like, how long they're going to keep Rhea and Damian together, but the new Judgment Day with Liv kind of being the forefront, I like.
Yeah.
And
we coordinated our shirts well. We got all three members of the family, just different ones. I'm glad I didn't wear my Levels Above shirt.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That was not planned.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, also the New Day. Like, I don't know why they brought Odyssey Jones into that. Like,
we were just talking about that.
Yep.
It's kind of like Odyssey Jones has been the joke on this show for like the longest time, and then he showed up, and I was just like, "What is this?"
Yeah, I saw him come out, and I'm like, "Why?" It makes no sense. I know they want to try to, break up the Judgment Day, or if they're going to keep the the New Day. If they're going to keep the New Day, is this a way for them to bring Big E back and say, you guys have been brothers for so long, Xavier, suck it up and let's get this shit going? But that made no sense to me at all.
Or imagine they want to get Xavier over as like a mega heel. What if Big E comes back to try to mend the peace and Xavier like frog splashes him or something?
Yeah.
Low blow.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be legit.
The other thing from Raw that kind of, and I don't know if you guys got to this point yet. Sorry for being late.
You're good.
But Io Sky and Damage Control?
Yeah, we haven't covered that yet.
Are they trying to turn them face because they're attacking Sonya Deville and them now?
Looks
I don't know.
It's really weird.
I mean, that faction I think it just needs to be sunsetted. I mean, it ran its course, so I don't know. As faces though, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, Io was over as a face before, like, so they could easily do it. I don't see any problem with it.
What was up with this too? I don't know if you guys saw, but after SmackDown, there was a dark match where there was a mixed tag match, and Braun Strowman was tagging with Kairi Sane. I don't know why the hell they're having those two team up.
What?
Yeah, it was those two versus I believe it was Dom and Liv. Maybe I forgot.
It was that I didn't realize they had a dark match, but people were posting pictures after SmackDown of Dom and Liv coming out. I was like, what the hell?
Oh, there's a video. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, that is adorable.
Are they doing mixed tag matches and going that route to see if Alexa Bliss comes back to confront Dakota Kai for tagging with her tag partner?
Oh, the finish. Kairi Sane jumped off of Strowman to hit Morgan to get the pin.
That's weird. They had her pin the champion too.
Oh, that's fantastic.
There's so much going on right now that I don't understand. Like, what's going on? Like, the A-Town Down Under got drafted to Raw, but then they were back on SmackDown and talking like they're supposed to be on SmackDown.
Yeah, that's what I was asking in the beginning. Like, what do you think about Randy Orton randomly showing up on Raw? Like, is the draft, is it fizzling out? Are we getting to that point now where it's kind of a done thing?
I wonder if they're going to do championship matches. Anyone can contend for any championship.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm definitely kind of nervous about it.
Yeah.
I wonder if with the new TV rights deal too, with SmackDown going to USA, I wonder if certain wrestlers are contractually obligated to be on that network, and that could be maybe something that's factoring into it. Same thing with Netflix too.
Yep.
Like Fox did when they won the rights to SmackDown. They said the only way we're going to give you this contract is if you have Roman on SmackDown.
Yeah, that's the only that's the only thing that I can really think of maybe why they're doing it, minus the Randy Orton. I understand that one, but the other guys just don't really make much sense to me.
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier. What did you think about the Wyatt Six using Shatter for the theme? Reactions online have been kind of mixed about it.
I liked it, but I had kind of mixed feelings, because that was Bray's theme.
Yeah.
But it was Bray's theme coming back, trying to bring back the Wyatt family. He was trying to do the Wyatt Six with that theme.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense that they continue using it for them, because it's still the Wyatt Six like Bray wanted. Uncle Howdy's there. All of the puppets are characters. It's just different people playing those characters.
Yeah. I mean, I was fine with it. Mike mentioned maybe shortening some of that stuff. But like other than that, it's a good song.
Yeah.
I know.
I love that song.
It was, yeah. I mean, I think it's fitting. It continues over. Another exciting news, but before we go do the minor shows, did you hear that the women are getting a mid-card belt?
Have they actually announced it yet?
They have. I'll show you the picture of it. Actually, it's from WWE's social media. Here it is. You ready?
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew that one. I thought you were talking about something else. I'm like, we're considering this a mid-card belt.
This is a jobber belt. This is like the champion of the jobbers.
Oh man, they finally get one, and it's one that no one wears anywhere ever.
Not to downplay Andrade's skills and whatnot, but well, let's get real. Nobody cares about it.
And it seems like what they're wanting to do with it anyway is make it an NXT belt with all the NXT guys in the tournament now. So it seems like that's where it's going.
Giving those NXT guys exposure on the main roster in front of those bigger crowds.
Yeah. But NXT, I mean, they already have mid-card titles. They don't need to take any more. They need to leave some for everyone else.
I was going to say,
who's the inaugural champion?
I wonder if they want to stick it to Elon and give it to Sonya Deville. I don't think he'd be too happy about that.
Poor Elon. He's going to be like, I don't want this contract anymore. I'm throwing it away.
You want it to be any more boring than having Sonya Deville carry it, have Gunther carry it.
Poor guy. Let's see. So I guess we already talked about. Let's do the minor ones real quick. So Speed, of course. Last week on August 7th, Javon defeated Ashanti Adonis. Well, I guess it's just going by Ashanti Adonis now. Javon, I think, is somebody that's perfectly suited to carry that Speed championship. Like, I would love to see him have it. He's incredible. Let's see. Main event. Some random matches. Pete Dunne defeating Akira Tozawa for some reason. Ivy Nile defeating Alba Fire. And then down on Level Up, we saw Dante Chen defeating Keanu Carver. Wendy Chu defeating Lainey Reed. And Idris Inofi defeating Kale Dixon.
Dante Chen showed up on Impact this week, too.
I did not watch that. That's awesome.
Yeah, didn't get the win, but he didn't get pinned either. It was a triple threat match.
He was there.
It happens.
That's the important thing, yeah.
But on that subject, speaking of TNA, we can talk about how awesome Great American Bash Night 2 was, because Joe Hendry was there defeating Joe Coffey, highlight of the night for me. Pete Dunne defeating Trick Williams. Kalani Jordan defeating Tatum Paxley. That made me sad. I was ready for her to win that one. Ethan Page defeating Oro Mensah. Ren Sinclair defeating Kendall Gray. And Axiom and Nathan Frazier defeating MSK with a rather interesting twist at the end as well.
Yeah, I love it. I think Wesley's heel run's going to be phenomenal. But the only problem I have is these TNA talents they're bringing in, they seem to be under contract with WWE, and they're up after a couple weeks. So are they going to extend these guys to actually have the feud play out, or is this just saying goodbye to the Rascals?
Oh, I'd be...
I think they're going to be extending their contracts. They're doing the way I look at it, do short-term contracts in case what they want to do isn't getting over with the fans. They don't have to have those long contracts to waste money.
Yeah. Unless they're going to buy TNA outright and then they just don't want to do long contracts. I mean, maybe they're just setting up for something.
But if that's the one thing that I was thinking too, but I don't see WWE buying TNA, because what would it be? Just another NXT?
Basically, probably. I mean,
so
it would be like AEW buying Ring of Honor pretty much.
Yeah, and TNA would go by the wayside and no one would give a damn.
Yeah. Because they just had their TV media rights deal come up, so unless they want to extend that with Access TV, they couldn't even include it in. But one thing that I found interesting is Mustafa Ali leaving TNA. I wonder if he holds some ill will towards WWE and just doesn't want anything to do with them. Unless
they're bringing him back to NXT as a full-time.
Yeah, that could happen too. Sure,
because
but
he's been over with TNA, so I think they'd be like, okay, he built that character. Let's bring him over to NXT and put him in.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I dig it. I'm all about it. I love his run. I mean, he's been really good. I liked him when he was WWE, though. I hate that they wasted him. That stupid Retribution faction and
oh god, somebody posted that on one of my wrestling groups today, and I was like, oh my god, that's the worst thing ever.
It was so bad. Like I just don't get the point. So night 2 was pretty good though. Ethan Page really showing his chops. Like major wasted opportunity on the other show. I think NXT is definitely doing the right thing with him. He's going to be a great champ.
Yeah, his match was good, and then like Joe Hendry, the way he started that match by just like the way he jumped over the top rope like back first, just like yoink.
Yeah,
freaking amazing.
He's so talented. Like I love Joe Hendry. I like that he's getting so much play right now, and it's not just that, but it's in other stuff. Like where was it? I saw something on Twitter today. It was either a baseball game or a basketball game somewhere. They randomly popped Joe Hendry up on the Titantron. Like,
what's his face? The guy from the Saints, the one who I forgot his name now. He's a huge Naruto fan.
What position does he play?
I think he's a cornerback. I can't remember. But he was coming out to
Jamal Williams.
Yeah, he was coming out to training camp and walking past the cameras, and he's like, hold on. He's like, can I do something I just learned? And then he sang Joe Hendry's theme song. It was great. He had his Naruto headband on and everything. It was so great. I died laughing.
Joe Hendry's getting over, man. Like, if WWE can somehow snatch that contract, it's going to be so good.
I love what they're doing with him, though, and the faith they have in him, because when he came out in that interview and said, I'm loving the partnership with WWE. I'm on the road with them with NXT. I'm going to be on future NXT shows. He's like, I have full access to the performance center to train, which means there's WWE, I can't talk English, WWE guys that are helping him train and learn more.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, it's definitely I see a future there. I mean, he's going to be a future WWE champion. I have zero doubt that's going to be the case. Like that,
even if he's just an NXT champion or a mid card on the main roster, he's done what he wanted to do.
So speaking of NXT on the road, remember we talked a few weeks about we said they should go on the road, and what do we see? We see they've announced a show, I believe, for St. Louis and Chicago, I believe,
for when
for the NXT goes over to CW.
Yep, the first two episodes.
I think Randy Orton and CM Punk are going to be there or something.
Yep. Randy Orton's on the first episode, Punk's on the second.
Yep. Oh, it's going to be yeah, I'm here for it. Chicago, I hope that they do are they doing Allstate, or did they say where they're going?
I can't remember which arenas.
Smaller than that, I think.
Yeah. I love what they're doing, though. Like, I can't wait for the fall. Like, you're going to have Fox move over to USA, which there's going to be a lot of, big things happening there because, USA is going to pay that money to have them do a lot.
Let's see.
And then CW with NXT is going to be huge.
I didn't say where they're going to be at.
They might be where TNA was for Against All Odds. I don't know that for a fact, though.
Okay. North American champion Kalani Jordan defeating Tatum Paxley. Do we think she's going to get the belt at some point? I've been waiting for it. Like, I know you want Sol Ruka to get it, but Tatum, that's what I want. I need that in my life.
I see Sol Ruka going for the women's championship. I don't think, the North American title is beneath her just a little bit. No, I'm just joking. No, I think they need to give it to Tatum for a little bit, or at least let this feud go on a little longer.
Yeah.
Well, she's going to be feuding with Wendy Chu now, I'm pretty sure, after that attack after the match.
I'd be fine with that.
Get that triple threat match in.
Yeah, do that too.
I like Wendy Chu now. I'm liking her new thing, so I'm cool with it. I wouldn't mind seeing some gold. I think she'd make it fun, put like Hello Kitty stickers on it and stuff.
Yes, goth Hello Kitty stickers.
One thing that disappointed me, though, about the Great American Bash is about a few months ago, I believe Cody Rhodes said he was going to show up to the summer barbecue, correct? When he had that segment with Trick Williams, and he never showed up to the Bash. I'm curious why they said that.
So disappointing. I'm so let down. Maybe he went to the wrong barbecue. He got lost.
He hopped in the car and let R-Truth drive.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh. So over to SmackDown. One thing I wanted to get y'all's take on is the before we get into the card was that awkward Cody KO thing. Like it seemed weird. I don't know if it's poorly written or it was supposed to be weird, but like the whole thing felt weird.
Just the whole, I know you're gonna say no, but that like kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
You have go ahead.
I don't know. It just felt weird. Like maybe they're supposed to act weird about it, but if not, it very poorly written, very strange.
Look who's a gorilla on Friday night. That's all I got to say. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Pritchard. Good old Bruce.
Oh God.
Triple H was nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
but I keep saying this in the sub, and some people disagree with me. I don't know why, but there is not enough proper heels to face Cody on SmackDown for that title, because this is just, it's a weird feud. I understand why they're doing it, to probably bridge to the Randy Cody thing, or maybe we're gonna have a Randy KO, as I said earlier. But I don't like this. It feels forced. It feels like a lazy storyline with just saying, oh, I was going to talk about Roman Reigns getting him a championship match, and then KO flips out. Like I'm not a fan of the direction they're going with this personally myself.
Yeah, I'm still twisted with it because Cody's going to be involved in the bloodline stuff, but you have Solo Sikoa, you have Roman Reigns, they're going to bring back The Rock, so Cody's going to be with Roman, but is The Rock going to start his own bloodline and they'll have a three-way feud?
I don't know. That would be interesting.
Because you have all of these guys that they're signing for, a bloodline run, but Roman's going to be Roman, the Usos, and Sami Zayn. You got Solo, the Tongas, Jacob Fatu. That's 4 on each side. The Rock's got to have another couple on his side.
Can't forget about Tonga too.
Yep. He's probably going to end up with The Rock.
Zilla was at SummerSlam too, I believe. Some people got some photos with him.
Yeah, Zilla was in the audience.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll be a kind of like a Shield thing. He'll just come out and be all like, "Hey, I'm here. What's up?"
Yep. I'm with the Cody thing and KO thing. I just think it's something to do at Bash in Berlin. Just because the crowds are very over or very behind Cody and KO, so it might just be a way to have a match between both of them and let the crowd be happy. It's fan service.
One thing that I'm concerned about too is Gunther should get the main event there. If you have Gunther get the first match and Orton loses, you would need to have that to have Randy properly interfere in that match.
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about is where all that's going. Like Randy over on Raw, like I don't know.
We're gonna get Randy. We're gonna get a Randy KO feud before we get Randy and Cody, and that's what's gonna happen. We know Cody's not gonna lose a title, and they're both faces.
Yeah.
So the only way to get that without getting a clean pin is to have Randy interfere and cost KO that belt, because Randy's going to say, I deserve the shot at this belt before you, so I'm not going to let you win it.
Yep, exactly.
So that's my outcome of that story.
We mentioned this at the beginning. Did you notice that when the Bloodline was out, they still had the DIY plates on their tag belts?
Yep. I saw that. It was like, why? They've had a couple days. They've got a freaking week. They could have gotten the nameplates changed.
But I mean, looking at the results, I'll read those for the tag team tournament. Street Profits defeated A-Town Down Under in a semifinal. DIY defeated Pretty Deadly in a semifinal. So, I mean, maybe they're going to get their belts back. And then Jade Cargill defeating Alba Fire predictably. And Santos Escobar defeating Andrade for a shot at the WWE US Championship.
That pissed me off to no end.
Oh, I got something better for you. We talked about this before we started the show, but we haven't talked about it on here yet. Hang on, I'm going to throw it up. What do you think?
I saw that.
Giovanni Vinci as Pitbull.
Mr. Worldwide,
Dolly.
Mr. 305.
That's what everybody was saying in the live chat thread on Reddit that night and on Twitter. Everybody's like, why do they make Giovanni Vinci look like Pitbull? Like,
Yep.
Mike mentioned before the show, calling back Alberto Del Rio's kind of packages before that, and how he was playing off as like a rich guy or whatever. So maybe they're trying to do it with Vinci now.
I don't know where they're going with it, but I don't think we can have an Italian version of Razor Ramon in 2024. Because that's the way the promo read to me. It's like, yep, we saw this in 1993 with Razor Ramon. Let's go.
I didn't even think about that. You were 100% on point with that take.
I'm going to say something, and I'm going to start off by saying I'm not racist, and that usually goes nowhere good.
Oh,
but
God, we're getting canceled in about an hour.
I was going to say, Hulk, was that you?
it's going to be, because you mentioned Razor Ramon, so in my head, all I could hear was, hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
To our Italian friends, I'm sorry.
Sounded like Mario, but
Logan Paul's sort of using that too, so I don't even think they could really have Vinci use that because he has that right at the beginning of his entrance music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he owns it now. I hear rumors online that Logan Paul is upset about his WWE treatment.
Well, Triple H or somebody said that Triple H feels like he needs to basically redeem himself after those comments made.
Interesting. Okay. Probably because WWE, they're a global brand. So, I mean, you don't want to say stuff that's going to tick off part of your audience. I mean, he can express himself or whatever. That's fine. Everybody can think whatever way they want to, but they're characters. Like Roman Reigns doesn't have a Joe NOI account and a Roman Reigns account. He has a Roman Reigns account. Like Logan Paul is very much his personality on TV. And so,
and when you have somebody like we saw in AEW, like CM Punk on your roster now, who in AEW came out and is a huge LGBTQ ally, and then you have someone like Logan Paul making those comments, you don't want to upset CM Punk. He's been there. He's gonna be there. He's, the one of the faces of your company now. If he's upset with you as a company, knowing the way he reacted in the past and walking out because Vince was in charge and he didn't like Vince, you don't want that to happen again. So you need to basically take that step with your undercard talent or mid-card talent and say, hey, you need to get your shit together.
Yeah, love him or hate him, backstage politics, whatever you want to say about him, CM Punk is one of the biggest draws in the company, period. So they know.
They should use this to their advantage, though. Just have them apologize for the comments. I'm not blaming him for him, really, because I understand what he was doing, how he's associated with the World Boxing Organization. He's trying to back them, and some news sources actually reported it as news. But you should use this as an advantage. Have him donate some money, and then on top of it, you have so much heel heat on that guy. You can get over someone with the crowd that you can't necessarily get over by just pinning him and beating him, because you can only generate so much heel heat from stuff you manufactured right into the storyline. You have legitimate real life heel heat on this guy. Use it to your advantage, strike while the iron's hot, and get people over that you need to get over on.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly.
Because they have him donate to a good cause like Valvenus.com.
Valvenus.com.
And then, apologize for it, because he after the comments, he never came out and rightfully apologized wholeheartedly for it. So do it that way. Like you said, let some of your mid-card talent that you want to get over with the crowd, let them kick the shit out of Logan Paul. Even if they don't win, if they're kicking the shit out of him for 90% of the match, and then he hits him with his brass knucks, then so be it. But at least you're getting that mid-card talent over.
Yeah,
So for
should be
the
happy he's in this situation, like not for what he said, but you don't have this opportunity all the time to use a heel like this.
Yeah.
but for the U.S. title perspective, it looks like they're moving on. Like Logan Paul or LA Knight showed up, looked dominant, cut promo, over as hell, new theme, and already setting up for who his challengers are going to be, and there's someone else. So it seems like they're very much moving in a different direction.
I think that's because Logan Paul's going to have his little fucking semen demon running around here soon that they need to, push somebody else, which I was hoping it was Andrade. I'm so like behind him as a character and his gimmick now since coming back, but we'll see.
Why did they have Logan Paul file this lawsuit against LA Knight though? Why are they doing that if we're not going to have if we're not going to continue the story, why are we doing it?
Probably a half-hatched idea.
To keep the story going and to keep him like they used to do back in the day with injured wrestlers. They would just come out and do, promos every couple weeks or whatever just to keep them in the fans' minds, because they did it with Randy when
with his updates. Those were funny.
The Randy updates, they got to keep him in the forefront of people's minds so that way they remember he's even part of the WWE.
So they'll know we see Prime everywhere.
Yeah, I was about to say. So I mean, we're not going to see Prime off the mats.
No,
it's here to stay. And it's like we said last week. It's probably inevitable that he's going to win either the Royal Rumble or King of the Ring, and he's going to get one of the main championships next year, or Money in the Bank. Like it's going to happen. There's nothing anyone can do about it.
So, really quick, we didn't really talk about it on Raw with Braun Breaker, but did anyone see him call out John Cena?
No, what did he say?
No.
He was in an interview.
He needs that IC title, doesn't he?
He said he was in an interview and they asked him who he wants if he had to call out anyone on the roster to face. He said John Cena. He was like, he's like, come get it. He was like, you've never held the Intercontinental title. He was like, now's your chance. Come take it from me.
Sure, why not? I don't know why, but I'm good. I want it. I'm ready.
It's the only thing that keeps John Cena from being an actual Grand Slam champion.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys would feel about this, but I was thinking so. Cody, he has the belt right now, and I think he needs to drop it after the feud with Randy. So you drop it to Randy. You have Cena take it off Randy eventually instead of him taking the World Heavyweight Championship off Gunther. And then after that, you could drop it to The Rock or to Cody to get that. And then all roads lead back to Cody Rhodes eventually, either way. And you're going to have more legitimate heels built up by then.
Yeah. I think they're waiting till The Rock comes back. It's going to be Cody versus The Rock for the title. I think that's how it's going to end up.
Not this WrestleMania next. I agree with you on that.
That was kind of a nice segue, actually. I was curious to what you guys thought about that. About where was that rumor? Hang on, continue what you're saying. I'm gonna have to find it. I lost it.
I think that's the way it's gonna go. If they're gonna do a Randy Cody feud, Cody doesn't lose the title to Randy. If they're gonna go that route. Only because it has to end with Cody and The Rock, because of if they're going to do long-term storytelling, what happened with The Rock and Cody at that Las Vegas
Mania.
Here it was. I found it. I made a note about it earlier. So it came out not too long ago, but it kind of coincides with Raw. That's where I had it. So The Rock is rumored to come back when the Netflix deal goes in. So obviously Raw is going to be over on Netflix. We mentioned earlier about Sammy and Jay kind of running into each other backstage and talking about wanting gold. We've been talking for a while about Roman and the Bloodline, that storyline staying on SmackDown, but like maybe it could pour over to Raw, because we've also talked about The Rock being on Raw because it's uncensored.
Yep. I think what's going to happen with what I brought up earlier about them having 3 versions of the Bloodline, they're going to feud Roman and Solo going into the Netflix deal, and then when The Rock's going to come back, and it's going to lead into a 3-way feud with the Rock's version of the Bloodline, Solo in the Bloodline, and then the Roman Empire if they go that route with his name.
I'd be cool with it. Yeah, I mean, Roman, we haven't got there yet, but on Friday, his return, like, he looked dominant. I was waiting on Cody to come out and help, but he did it himself, and that is a tremendous look for a guy who's a nuclear face now.
Yep.
And then Jimmy was going to come out.
I thought so too. I was waiting. I was like, okay, it's 9:55. We still got 5 minutes. I'm like, all right, we got time. But did you guys see after they went off the air, some of the WWE.com exclusive footage and fan footage? Roman actually put up the ones
Nice.
as he was walking through the curtain.
Nice. I like the OTC chant, which makes me think that there's going to be his section is going to be called like the original bloodline or something like that.
OBL, original
or the one bloodline or the only bloodline or something like that.
The only one instead of the ones.
We the only ones.
Yep.
Do you guys think we'll have the Hell in a Cell match with Roman and Solo as opposed to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre?
I think they might do both because
why not?
If Bad Blood's going to be a Hell in a Cell replacement, why not?
Yeah.
I want Drew and Cody, or Drew and I also want Drew and Cody, but I want Drew and Punk in the exploding barbed wire death match.
Oh God! They can contact AEW for the guys that they had do that one match with John Moxley.
Yeah,
we can get sparklers on the ring posts. I mean,
wasn't it? It was John and Omega.
Yeah, it was John and Omega, and then Eddie Kingston came out and covered freaking Moxley like it was gonna do something, and then the sparklers went off.
And then Matt Cardona will show up.
Yes.
You saw him come back on Impact, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
So that's the crossover we need. If they can get him on Impact, Chelsea's over in WWE. Like
Matt Cardona can come out and face Ethan Page for the title. Let's go.
I didn't know I wanted that.
Belt collector's back.
The belt collector's back. Damn right.
He's going to take the Speed Championship.
That's my pick for the women's speed champion is Chelsea Green. All jokes aside.
I thought you were going to say Matt Cardona.
No.
I was like, what?
I'm sure Elon would have a problem with that, though, too.
Yeah.
There's too many men winning women's stuff. I'm already angry.
Rawr.
And Elon is he's doing a special interview tonight of a former U.S. president. So
that's tonight. I didn't.
So you never know. I mean, Elon's pretty angry already. So we don't want to push the lines with the Speed Championship any at all. Like,
yeah. Do you want to give it to the WWE Hall of Famer that he's interviewing tonight?
Yeah. See, it's not politics; it's relevant. Elon is actually interviewing a WWE Hall of Famer tonight on Twitter. How about that? A heel. He's a heel. They're both
Who's he
heels.
interviewing tonight?
Some guy used to be president or something. I read. Some former U.S. president. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah.
So boo.
But a WWE Hall of Famer. I mean, how often has that happened? So you never know. I mean,
we can't give Matt Cardona the speed title because they're on X, and Elon will get pissed and say it's against the contract.
Oh yeah, because he's Impact. I don't know why there's not more U.S. president crossovers. I don't know if you guys watch Parks and Recreation, but Joe Biden was on there. You remember that? Like,
oh God, I've been watching the bloopers from that show recently. The Kim Kardashian blooper still the greatest.
Do you guys remember when Vince used to have the guys that looked like the presidents come in to fight each other at the promo? I was thinking that if we're ever going to get that again.
Stupid.
I know.
Oh man.
You looking back on it now, you realize how dumb Vince was, but you got to realize how stupid us as fans were back then for actually still watching it.
Yeah.
And supporting it. We look back at it now, it's like, oh, that was the dumbest thing ever. And it's like, well, I watched it still. How smart can I be?
Oh man, of all the ideas. But going back to it, I thought Roman was going to get the necklace. I thought he was really close to getting it. But I think I don't know. It's so hard to believe them building a feud. Like if it was The Rock or something like that that was running the bloodline while Roman was gone and Roman came back, like I'd get excited about that feud because like it'd be good. But like building to a feud with Solo is just like, man, I just don't care. Like, I don't care.
I think they're building more towards a feud with Jacob because they're saying that Jacob's injury at SummerSlam was planned to keep him off TV because they didn't want him and Roman meeting in the ring yet.
How much buyer's remorse do they have, though, after seeing Jacob show up on TV and how good he is that they put Solo in charge of everything? Like, they got to be regretting that.
Oh, yeah.
They knew this.
But I didn't think they'd have a chance. I don't think they planned on having him come in because he was still under contract with, who was it, MLW?
MLW,
yeah.
So, and he came in just with some fire and fury, and I was like, dang. But yeah,
skills and his in-ring skills. That dude is he's a big guy, bigger than me. He's not the most athletic looking, but then he gets in the ring and he's like jumping up to the top rope without using his hands, and it's like, damn, bro.
I don't know if we talked about this after SummerSlam or not. Maybe we did. Roman's new theme. What do you guys think of it?
He's got a new theme. I thought it sounded the same.
I think they debuted that one at Mania.
I don't know.
Night 2, I think they played.
I thought it was at Mania. Yeah, because I thought it was the same one.
The drum, like the beginning, but with like the drum beats.
Yeah.
What do you think about that one versus like the old one that started off with like the singing and then straight into like the chords?
I like the drum beat more. It just gives that more of an impact.
I like both of them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm cool with either one.
Yeah,
I think it's better than the Shield Roman theme, obviously.
Yeah. I just like it because it gives, when you're in the arena and you hear that thumping, it gives you more emotion. It brings out that a little bit more because your heart's beating, and it's that thumping of the bass, and that is ridiculous.
That crowd reaction, though, like, man, Cody gets a pretty good crowd reaction, but Roman's like, it's crazy how much someone can go from a heel to a face that fast.
Yep.
Like, he's been gone a few months. It's still a long time in terms of pro wrestling, but that was insane.
You have to look back, though, the way they did it. Bringing, I don't think anyone else could have done it the way that, as much as we talk down on Solo, I don't think anyone could have done it and made the fans hate the bloodline as much as Solo did after Roman.
And how many times have you heard them chanting F you to someone on a show?
Yeah. Him and Dom right now have the biggest heat in WWE.
Yeah.
Other than Logan Paul, he's got the heat too.
Yeah.
But we got to thank this administration too. They did it in 1 year what the other administration couldn't do in 7. And one other question I got for you guys too, with the Sulafala they're fighting over, do we think we'll get it in tribal combat or a ladder match? I know we're not going to get on a pole match, but are we going to get some form of that where they actually have a match for the Ulafala?
Tribal combat, Hell in a Cell,
Punjabi prison.
Oh my God! If you, all right.
If you say it 3 times, it'll happen.
Yeah, no.
What a great Kali will appear.
It'll probably be Bloodline Rules because they like that.
Yep.
No one knows what it means, but it's enticing.
It's a
street means the Bloodline doesn't win.
Yep, pretty much.
Roman will be like, "Yeah, I'll take a Bloodline Rules match. I'm good."
The Bloodline's 0-2.
And I don't like what they've done with these Bloodline Rules matches though, because the way The Rock teased it to us is we were going to have Jimmy as the special guest referee, Solo was going to sing the national anthem. Like it's a total rigged match that you cannot possibly lose. And then we've just basically made it into a no DQ match, a street fight, Extreme Rules, whatever you want to call it.
Now that Solo's talking, like, it's time for that to happen. It's time. The fans want it.
If Solo can get back to his mic skills like he had in NXT, then I'll be behind him a little bit more because his mic skills recently have just been trash.
I've liked him. I'm not gonna lie. I'm liking what Solo's doing. At the beginning, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but he's won me over. I'm liking what he's doing, having the holding the ones up the other way. What he's got going on, I can go with it definitely.
He just seems awkward on the mic a little bit. His body language and the way he stands is like awkward. Like he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like
That's
he
why he
doesn't
needed to
know what
keep
to do with
Paul.
his hands.
I don't know what
I
I'm.
don't know what to
They
do
needed to
with
keep Paul. Like Paul as his mouthpiece was fine.
Yeah.
You know that's better, but no.
There was a picture that leaked out that Paul was backstage
Yep.
with Roman at
So,
SummerSlam.
Oh, that's awesome. So who comes back first, Paul or Jimmy? I mean,
I think we might see Jimmy come back first, and then when they're all in the ring cutting a promo, Paul comes back.
yeah.
Since there was another article written, I think it was yesterday or today, saying that Brock Lesnar's not coming back because WWE legal doesn't want them to bring him back yet. So,
well, everything's on
Roman
hold
is
with that case too.
yep.
Roman needs someone in his corner, and I don't think they're going to have it be Cody yet. I think if they do a match at like a pay-per-view and Roman gets like the short end of the stick, that's when I think we'll see Cody come to help him. Like it's going to happen at some point. Like everyone knows it's going to happen. It's just a matter of timing. I thought he was going to
Crown Jewel yet?
Yeah, it's in November.
November? Yeah, I think that's when we could see it because that's the last pay-per-view before Survivor Series, correct?
It's November 2nd, and I think Survivor Series is like a few weeks after that.
Yeah, I'll probably see it around then.
Let's see. Survivor Series is November 30th. So yeah. So we're still doing the Crown Jewel thing. I was thinking after Vince left, we wouldn't be doing the Saudi shows anymore, but they probably have a contract or something, I bet.
The $1 billion or so they pay WWE to come over there, they'd be stupid to end it.
Yeah. I mean, Sammy showed up at one, so I mean, I'm guessing everybody's kind of chilling on it.
Well, with the ceasefire and all that stuff and whatever the treaty they signed,
Yeah.
If Sammy's comfortable going over there, I think it's something that they'll continue doing.
Sammy's going to be he's the final decider now. Yep. They'll ask him.
And now that the females are wrestling over there, like every time they go over and all that stuff, and they have the actual WWE makeshift Hall of Fame over there now.
I'm still hoping that eventually. I love that show, Most Wanted Treasures.
I love that show.
I am still hoping at some point they're going to open a physical Hall of Fame. Like I would travel. I've been to Stamford. I've been to WWE headquarters, but I'd travel out there again to go to a physical museum to see some of this stuff in person. For you guys, it's like a picnic, but for me, it's like a couple days. I drive a couple days to go see this thing.
Well, I think for the way it sounded to me on that show was they were going to be at the 4 big events: Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and the Rumble. Actually. Yeah. Bring all these merch to those events because they have 2 or 3 day events.
Yeah, because I remember at Mania in Dallas, they had a separate building down the street. It was like a convention center or something, and they had all that stuff set up for the fan expo or whatever it's called. Yep. You can go check it out. We didn't go do it, but I know they set it up there.
So
they did that at the Royal. They did it this year with Philadelphia, where the Pat McAfee show was there at that expo center, and then they did it at the Royal Rumble when it was at in San Antonio there too. They had a pop-up one, I believe, too, because they had some of Kofi Kingston shorts I remember there, and then you had a game where the kids could play a trivia game too.
I would like some of that. I'm a pretty decent collector, and I've got some stuff of my own that I would like to see other collectors stuff. I think it's cool the collectors on that show that loan stuff out. I think that's really awesome. That one dude that they go to his house all the time. I just want to go to his house. He's got
GWC, the guy who rents out a separate house from his family just to have all of his stuff.
It was the one. Not the one. Maybe it was the one where Miz signed the door. I can't remember.
Oh, the guy that when Mankind went to that one dude's house, GWC, the greatest wrestling collector. That dude's house is ridiculous. He's in a few of the wrestling collector groups I'm in, and his stuff is nuts. And then Connor, Ric Flair's son-in-law, his wrestling belt collection of all official ring used belts is crazy. They
not like that Eddie Guerrero belt I was going to buy. I mean,
that counts a little sketchy. I looked at it.
Good thing you asked people about that one before pulling the trigger.
I posted it in one of the belt groups I'm into. I'm like, wait a minute, and quickly people were like, no, the brand. I'm like, oh yeah, duh.
Yep.
I was just in a hurry. As soon as someone said ring worn Eddie Guerrero belt, I'm like on PayPal, like, what? Oh, it's not real. damn it.
Figs, I doubt they used Figs ink belts in the ring.
That's the type of belt that you go on a show, you have an in-person meet and try to hand them the motion picture money and jet quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will get a ring worn belt at some point. I will. There will be one in my collection. I don't know how, but I'm going to get one.
Ring of Honor, MLW, those are probably going to be the easiest ones to get.
I wouldn't mind a Ring of Honor belt. Like a lot of WWE guys have been there. Really good heritage. Like I'd be cool with that. I wouldn't care about a 24/7 belt. Like I'll take.
We know that. We saw the iTruth one you wanted. Did you end up getting it?
No, I didn't. And it didn't go for that much either.
Oh,
yeah.
Where was it?
If you're looking for a Ring of Honor belt, you even look at like for a used one. See if those 6-man tag belts go, because the Von Erichs and Dustin Rhodes title, that's not a bad title to have from that show.
No.
It only went for $655. I've paid more than that for like replica belts or for memorial belts. That's not bad for an autographed like 24/7 title. Like that's pretty decent. It was autographed 24/7, and he wrote on it like 24/7 I-95 South champion.
One thing when we were talking about the Crown Jewel thing too, don't they have didn't they sign an 8-year deal when they originally signed it, I believe, for the Saudi thing? So I think so. They probably have 3 to 5 years left on it, right?
Let's see.
I think so. When did they start Crown Jewel?
This says in 2018 it was a 10-year partnership.
10-year, okay, that's what.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So 4 more years.
4 more years, yeah.
So even if they don't want to do it, like they're locked in on it.
I hope they stick with it, because Crown Jewel is one of my favorite pay-per-views year in and year out, like especially out of the Saudi shows too, because they seem to make a bigger deal out of that PLE than other PLEs, in my opinion.
No. If they sign a long-term deal with any country that's not the United States, I want it to be France.
Yeah, that's true. I'm down to see that for sure.
The best wrestling crowd in existence. I want more shows there, as many as possible. People were complaining all the time, like the crowd kept saying stuff, and I'm like, I don't care. They were having fun, and it was glorious.
Production just needs to clean up the audio on that, and you won't have the fans complaining after that.
One thing people on Twitter said, if they do it again, they want subtitles for the crowd chants. Because I kept having like the whole event, I was like sitting there on Twitter, like refreshing the WWE feed, and I was like looking for translations. Like, oh, there it is. Oh, thanks. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Like 10 minutes later, I was like, that's what they said an hour ago. Okay, cool. And the AJ Styles theme, like that was probably one of my most joyous moments in wrestling history, having to watch AJ Styles keep his face. Like, as you know, he just wanted to laugh or bust out or smile or something as they're just going nuts with that song. Like, it was awesome.
I can't wait to see how the Berlin crowd is.
He was supposed to be there on Friday, I thought. That's what everyone was saying, and then he didn't show up.
Maybe he's getting ready to go to TNA to feud with Jeff Hardy or something.
Oh, God.
Jeff Hardy's working an injury right now.
Let's see. He was set to appear on SmackDown. PW Insider is reporting that Styles was not backstage at the still, but is expected to return before Bash in Berlin. Creative plans were locked in, and it was decided that it wasn't the right time for his return.
Bruce made that decision, I'm sure.
He probably didn't want to share a return on the same show as Roman.
Yeah, that's true, too. I didn't think of that.
What's going on with Zelina Vega?
She needs to just need to do something with her.
She needs
could
to
win a speed title.
Yeah, she put out a tweet. Yeah, she put a tweet out today thanking fans for their support and saying, I won't let you down. Did something happen with her?
That's weird. Not that I know of.
I don't either. Nothing I can think of. Yeah, they need to pull the trigger on her. Like, they've been sleeping on her for way too long. Like,
yeah.
She was the first queen of the ring. Like, that should carry some weight, you would think.
If they're gonna bring Malachi over, which I know there's something going on there because he doesn't seem to be too happy with what's going on in AEW. I think they should do a stable with her, sort of like the House of Black, and have her play like almost like a gothic character with him. I think that would go over good.
Yeah, or something with Judgment Day. I mean, yeah. And WWE likes keeping couples together. It's one of the things they're actually good at. So you would think that they would be like, oh, well, let's bring, because they brought Andrade over for Charlotte, like probably not for Charlotte, but you would think that they would do something like that for them. And now Charlotte's one we haven't seen in a while. Like, hopefully she'll get over her injury
unfortunately. Soon. Yeah.
I'm in no rush to see her back. She can take some time to heal. Because we know we're going to see Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte. It's just a matter of where and when, and she'll probably take the title from her, unfortunately.
Yeah, she's gonna be Charlotte 2 belts.
Yeah.
Oh God.
3 speed championship too.
Yeah. And then she's gonna pop down to NXT and take their championship.
100%.
Like Stephanie Vaquer, how she was holding all those belts between New Japan, CMLL.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good. Let her just take all of them, and she'll
Charlotte
probably
comes back and starts winning championships, and Snoop Dogg is her manager. Let's go.
Oh God, he's so ready for it. I saw a video today on Facebook. They were showing Snoop Dogg did a concert in like Long Beach or something. I guess because the Olympics are wrapping up or over or something. But
yeah,
it was funny. I went to the comment section, which you never should do if you're on social media, but I did.
Oh, that's where I go every time. I never post the comments.
The first thing I click is comments. Let's see who's here.
That's where you can have the fun.
There were a lot of
click on it. Let's go.
There were a lot of angry people about Snoop Dogg being involved in the Olympics, and they're like, "This is trash. He sucks," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, most of y'all are probably like my age, and we listened to him when we were younger. Like,
I saw somebody on, I think it was Facebook or something, or X or Threads, was like, Snoop Dogg used to be an OG and used to be a gangster. What happened to him? Everyone was ripping this guy in the comments. They're like, Snoop Dogg's done everything. Now he's older, he's grown up, and he's living his best life. Let him be.
Yeah, exactly.
That dude is having fun. If you watched any of the clips from the Olympics, he was jumping into like the BMX competition. He went to the skateboarding. He went to swimming, gymnastics. He was having fun with the athletes. That dude is living.
Just wait until 2028. He'll be involved with flag football.
Did y'all see the breakdancing one?
Oh God,
chick from Australia,
Ray Gunn. Oh my Jesus. If you haven't seen it, Mike, go watch it.
Yeah, I saw. Before we came on, like 30 minutes ago, I saw some performer was defending her dance, but I didn't go any further than that. I haven't
watch
seen it yet.
No, watch the whole thing.
She interrupted the breakdancing session and she put her hands together and I was like, "Are we doing a baby shark competition?" I was like, "What is going on?" She was on something.
Paying homage to Jimmy Buffett.
One of the best memes I saw was like they had a few frames of her doing her breakdancing, and then at the bottom they had that lady from Bob's Burgers, and she was like, "Well, that's hip hop." I was like, "Oh my god!"
I haven't seen that yet. I'll have to watch it after we're off.
Go watch it. It was so great.
Well, I guess that brings us to a good wrapping up point before we get into Raw tonight. You guys have anything else?
One real quick thing we didn't touch on. Prediction: Street Profits or DIY winning that match this Friday?
Mike had a good point at the beginning of the show. Maybe that's why the DIY plates are still on there.
Because Roman could cost him those titles, though. He's back.
He could.
Yeah.
Yep, so, I could see that.
Yeah, so I figured that I was like, that's a good point. That makes sense. I mean, if they're not going to let them have a run with it, they would have, because they always used to make a big deal about it. They'd like put the videos up of replacing the side plates and all that. They haven't done any of that. So
last time that happened was Trick Williams when he only had that North American title for 2 days when Dom won it back. That's the last time I remember them doing it.
I really liked Braun Breaker's promo on Monday where he was talking about the side plates, like really trying to elevate that title. He was like, "You see these side plates? This is my name." I was like, "Yes,
it's my name. This is my belt. This is my title."
Yeah, and he said, "I love that they're saying the no words again on TV. They're saying belt and title and pro wrestling, and it's glorious."
the whole argument of it's not a belt. The belt holds your pants up, and that doesn't. It's like, oh, shut the hell up.
Oh, Christian was doing a promo on that. You saw this is not a belt. This is a championship. I think it was like 2 weeks ago on Collision, maybe.
Yep.
Oh my god. Yeah, I love it. I love the no words. Next, I'm waiting on them to say hospital. If they can say hospital, all the no words are back.
They're going to medical.
It was a lot of cursing on Monday night too to get you ready for Netflix.
He said shit live on TV, and I caught that. I got caught off guard. I was like, he can't say that on TV.
They're on the slide now though on cable.
On Monday, when they were doing the holy shit chants, when I think it was after the Bronson Reed bombs or whatever, they weren't censoring this. Yeah. Those didn't get censored, so maybe they're getting us ready. So that's all I have. Unless you got anything else, Mike. You got anything else?
No, it's about it. The only thing is, when we were talking about Dark Side of the Ring earlier, I think you were talking about the Chris Kenyon episode when we couldn't come up with the name for the other one that you thought it might be.
Yeah.
Who better than Chris Canyon?
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we were mentioning that. Okay, that might be what it was. So, to our audience out there, if you haven't watched Dark Side of the Ring, obviously go watch it. It's an eye-opening experience. And everybody else, we're gonna get out of here. Enjoy Raw and have a good week.